Welcome to Broadway's Calling, where your favorite Broadway stars share where they were when they first got the call to be on Broadway the very first time. It only happens once, and we are here to get that story for y'all. Now, our guest today is JONALYN SAXER. She plays Karen on the tour Mean Girls. She's on the left.
Hi, I'm Karen. My name is Karen, too. Do you spell it with a K? Sometimes.
Back in 2018, Tina Fey and the cast of Mean Girls on Broadway sent all the other Tony nominees special treats to keep us in shape and ready to do our performances on the Tony Award show. Now, I was in My Fair Lady at the time, and they gifted us with Calteen nutritious bars. If you remember those from the movie. Now, those of you who are familiar with Mean Girls also know that there is nothing nutritious about those Calteen bars. In fact, they will make you gain weight. And we weren't even their competition. We were a revival. But I kept mine anyway. Here it is, my Calteen bar from Tina Fey and the cast of Mean Girls. Well, to tell you the honest God truth, I didn't need no Calteen bar during this lockdown. I found Calteen in everything. I mean, I got the COVID 10 on this side and the Calteen 10 on the other side. So in keeping with the theme of today's show, Andrea Boyer from our feature section of Broadway Bites, she's going to share her slightly more nutritious brownie recipe later on in the show. And so we don't eat this right here. We don't need to gain any more weight from those Mean Girls with their Calteen. And if you're new to the channel and you really enjoy Broadway shows and seeing Broadway stars and just going into their lives and getting closer to them, we would love for you to subscribe. Because if you subscribe, algorithm be damned, we will be shared everywhere. So Broadway will be everywhere, especially when we're open, and then people can just be watching all the old shows that are on our channel on YouTube. And also click that bell, and that will remind you, so you don't even have to remember when we're going to be on at every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll just say, hey, Broadway's Calling with Lance Roberts is on. So make sure you click that bell, and we promise that we won't start a burn book on you. You Mean Girls fans, you know what I mean by the burn book? Yes, you do. It takes you back to the 90s, right? And Regina George in a certain school bus, doesn't it?
Yeah. So don't try to act so innocent. You can take that fake apology and shove it right up your hairy...
All right, spoiler alert. It's only a movie, and it's now a musical. And she survives in both. Now, JONALYN SAXER, who's going to be our guest today, who played Karen in the Mean Girls tour and also was in the original Broadway in the ensemble, she'll share other tidbits about her time on the tour before lockdown. And there she is with her cast of the Mean Girls on tour with its creator, Miss Tina Fey. Now, as well as telling us, she's also going to tell us about the moment that she got the call to be on Broadway and what it was like to appear in shows like Cats, The Revival, Honeymoon in Vegas with Rob McClure, who has been on the show, Bullets Over Broadway, Holiday Inn, and, of course, the original Broadway company of Mean Girls. Now, as a special treat, JONALYN will share how she stays fit for the stage. So get comfortable, stretch out a little, make sure you got that blood going, and find your leg warmers. You still got them. Find those leg warmers, because JONALYN promises to teach us some of her moves so that we can all get back into shape and get ready to get back into the world, fully vaccinated and back on Broadway. Now, here she is jumping into center stage in Holiday Inn.
shake. A lucky break. Oh, takes your cares away. If you will lose your weary birds, shake on the way. Take them away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Broadway's calling, JONALYN SAXER.
Hi!
How are you?
I'm great. What an intro.
Oh, that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Takes you back to your days there in Holiday Inn.
Oh, that number was just the best.
Oh, it was so good. And doing that, I mean, how you just jumped into that. I mean, I couldn't jump rope just with me in charge, let alone like jumping into the middle of someone. They were already doing it. Was that double Dutch?
No, it was one rope. It was
Just one rope, right? I love it. Though, where have you been spending the Broadway shutdown?
I've been in Los Angeles, where I grew up because I was on tour, so I didn't have a place in New York, so I just came back to my parents.
Oh, so are you there with a little friend of mine, Penelope?
Yes. Yes. She's actually so mad at me right now. She has the donut of shame on because she's been chewing at her leg. So she's sitting over here like grumpy with this collar thing on.
Oh man. I mean, she was like our mascot when we were on tour with Gotta Dance, when we were at the pre-Broadway out in Chicago. Oh, she was so great. She was such a good dog. I can't believe that she's, has to wear the donut of shame. But hey, it happens to the best of us.
It does. It does.
I'd like to have on the Krispy Kreme of shame.
Yeah, right?
I hear that they're giving out with our vaccination cards. They're giving out free Krispy Kremes here in New York. So
well, I think it's like everywhere because I went to Krispy Kreme the other day because I got my second shot the other day this week, and I went to go to Krispy Kreme and the line was really long.
Well, I'm ready. I mean, give me that Krispy Kreme donut of shame. I'm ready for that. Now, I have a question. Now, what brought you east? I mean, you grew up in California. How did you end up in New York and on Broadway?
Yeah, well, I think I knew, I wanted to go to college for musical theater, and a lot of the great programs are on the East Coast. And I also knew, having grown up in this area, and I'd done shows with then called Cabrillo Music Theater, now called Five Star Theatricals.
I remember.
And a lot of the people I was working with were at UCLA or Lambda or UCI. They were there now, and I felt like sometimes when you grow up in California and then you go to school in California, you get a little stuck in California. And so I knew college would be the easiest way to get out to the East Coast, because it's easier to make that move when you're going to college than just like as an adult, like, okay, like I guess I'll move across the country now. So I ended up going to Syracuse University.
Oh, nice.
Which is about as far away from LA as well as with weather that you can go. But it was really nice because Syracuse is like a 5-hour bus ride to the city. So I was able to go in and see shows and stuff. And then our second semester, we have a program called the Tepper semester where you take your final semester of classes in New York City. And so by the time I graduated, I had already been living in the city for like 5 months, and the transition was just super smooth.
That's great. Now, Syracuse, didn't Vanessa Williams go there?
She did.
Wow. I love that. So now you're in the city. Now, where were you when you got the call to be on Broadway?
I was in my apartment because my Broadway story is a little crazy. I don't know if I've ever told you it.
No.
I booked my first Broadway show. I started rehearsals for my first Broadway show a week and a half after graduating.
What?
So because of the way Syracuse works is we were in the city and we showcased, and then we had to go drive back to Syracuse to graduate. And then I was going to come back to the city. So I was on my way and I showcased, and I was on my way back to Syracuse, and I get an email, not for my debut, but for the Merry Widow at the Met. And
Okay.
in the email, it says Susan Stroman might be there. And we were 3 hours into the drive to Syracuse, and I sat up and I was like, I have to go back. I have to go back right now. This is tomorrow. I have to go back. And my
Wow.
mom was like, did you forget something? We can buy it for you there. Like, she was so mad. We ended up driving all the way to Syracuse, dropping off the rental car, borrowing a friend of mine's car, drove back to New York that night,
Wow.
auditioned for The Merry Widow the next day, found out on the way back to Syracuse so I could walk at graduation that I had gotten a swing in that.
Mm-hmm.
And from that audition, like 2 days after graduation, I'm kind of back and settled in New York. I get the audition appointment for Bullets Over Broadway. And I didn't have an agent at this point. And so Lindsay Levine with Tara Rubin was like, this isn't normal because you've already committed to a job that conflicts, but Stro would really like to see you for this. And I was like, because Stro was at that audition for The Merry Widow, and I was like pooping my pants.
Wow.
So, and it was a replacement call. So it all kind of happened in one day.
Mm.
We went in at 10 a.m. and learned the dance and then sang, and then they had a break. And then we came back at like 4 p.m. For Stro showed up at 4 p.m. to see all the people that had made it past the first cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was that night I found out. And I remember getting like the 212 number call, and I ran into my room because I was in my apartment in the living room with like my boyfriend at the time and my roommate, and like music was playing and stuff. And so I went into my room and like didn't even turn on the lights because I just like couldn't do anything else but answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really exciting because casting agents don't normally get to tell you directly that you booked your Broadway debut. And so I would always say to Lindsay, and I told her on that phone call, I was like, you're my fairy godmother. Like, you came to my showcase, you called me in for this. And she's like, I'm so happy I get to tell you this, but it was really, really exciting.
Wow. So it was Bullets Over Broadway, right? That was the show. Oh my goodness. So what did you do? I mean, your friends were in the other room, hanging out. I mean, did they think that you had lost your mind?
No. I went back in, and my boyfriend was actually like cooking me this, like had gotten into cooking. And so he was like making this dinner for us that night. And I was like, I just booked a Broadway show. Like, I couldn't handle it. And I actually remember like, and they were like, well, you have to go get measured first. You'll be hearing from the stage manager, Rolt, about more information. So there was still like a chance that I could lose the job if I didn't fit the costumes,
right?
Which is nerve-wracking. But I remember one of my best friends in the world, Ashleen, I was like, I have to tell Ashleen. And I was like, I can't call her. Like, I have to tell her in person. Mm-hmm. And so we met at that really tiny Starbucks near Pearl and Ripley for because she was going from audition to audition or something. And I met her there. I was like, let's grab coffee. I have to tell you something. Mm-hmm. And she sits down. She's like, what happened? Like, what do you have to tell me? Is your family okay? I was like, it's a good thing. She goes, did you book Broadway? And I was like, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like crying in the Starbucks. I'm like, I can't tell anybody, but I'm going to go see if the costumes fit me. Like,
I love it. I mean, and here you are. I mean, bam, you get this like right out of school. Now, wait, I have a question. Did you end up getting to do The Merry Widow?
No, I didn't. I didn't because, one, it was
conflicting.
It was conflicting, but then Bullets closed. And when we got the closing notice for Bullets, I emailed my agent being like, can I get my track back in Merry Widow? But what ended up happening was I booked my second Broadway show, which conflicted with Merry Widow. So
what was that?
Honeymoon in Vegas.
Wow. I mean, bam, bam, bam. You were just killing it. I mean, it's like you were a baby then. You're still a baby. I mean, you're, barely over 25, and you've already worked with Tony Danza, Woody Allen, Susan Stroman, and now you're working with Tina Fey. I mean, you're getting like your graduate program on Broadway.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I learned, especially going into a show like Bullets, I always say I was very blessed to have that be my debut because there were not a lot of debuts in that show. There were a couple, but it was mostly people who had been working for a long time, who were seasoned professionals. I mean, that female ensemble, like, they didn't even have to clean them. They would just watch each other out of the corner of their eye, and I would be told, like, I can't tell you what the arms move, but everyone's always in sync. And I was like, great.
Wow.
But just the professionalism that was in that building was really incredible, and the way they went about their jobs, and just that principal cast was just outstanding, with Marin and Brooks and Helena and Zach and Nick, of course. It was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and we lost two of those people, Marin Maisie and Nick Cordero, to COVID earlier, Marin to cancer a couple of years ago. So really, really great cast. It's so fantastic. And I wanted to know, like, again, because you've worked with all of these fantastic stage, screen veterans, now that you have Tina Fey in your back pocket, you know, basically one of our queens of comedy. And I know of you as a very, very good comedian, because you showed some comic chops when we were on the road with Gotta Dance for Sure. I always wondered, like, are you and Tina like talking and she's giving you tips on comedy? I mean, does she give you tips?
Yeah. I mean, Tina was very, it was a great rehearsal room to be in. And Tina was always very respectful. Also, that she was not the director, that Casey was the director. So it was great because she wasn't giving people line readings. She wasn't being like, wait, no, you know. And it's also with Tina's material and also the casting of the show. It's something that her writing is so good that just say it. Just be in character and say it. Like, you just don't do, the only notes you get are when you try to make it funnier than just saying the words. Because that's the way her brain works. And every once in a while, because even as ensemble, especially in our DC run, the female ensemble had quite a few more little scenes and bits throughout the show that ended up getting taken out. And it was interesting because once we started to get to know Tina and we'd see a new scene come in, or this thing, we had these little testimonials, you could tell she was writing for you to say it.
Nice.
Similar, it happened in Gotta Dance as well. I remember Bob came up to me, they had added in a little like monologue for me at the end of the show. He was like, we wrote that because we knew how you were going to say it. And so we wrote it because we knew you would land it the way you landed. And I will also say, going on tour with the show, they made some changes. But Tina was also really, I mean, she's like, you know, we call Tina and Jeff like mom and dad, and they're so open, and they were very committed. Their offices are in Midtown. And so whenever an understudy would make a debut, they would come and see the show. Or if they hadn't seen an understudy go on in a while, they would come and see the show to see the understudies go on, which was just so respectful and considerate, because as an understudy you don't get that a lot. And Stroh would do a similar thing. Like, Stroh specifically came one week because she knew I was going to be on, and to see, you know, that doesn't always happen. And but with the tour, Tina would sit with me. I remember one time we were sitting in the audiences at Tech, and she's like, you know, like, you don't have to do this the way Kate did it. Like, just do it the way you want to do it. Like, please do you. Like, we love you as this role, and we want you to do you as this role. And it was very, very considerate.
Oh, you can see, I mean, you can tell in her work how gracious she is, or when she comes to see other people in shows, or it's just like, that is her nature. And Jeff Richmond, you were saying, who co-wrote it with her, and you had mentioned Bob. And Nell, of course, and Bob Martin, you had mentioned, who also, they were working on The Prom, and Casey Nicolau. It's like, everybody's sort of together. It's like,
and then you take like Tina's writing, and then you take Casey's, like, if you just turn your head right after you say that, and then you do it at night, and all of a sudden there's a huge laugh, and you're like, it's just those things, he sees them. And it is such a masterclass to see the way Tina writes things, because there's no paraphrasing in Mean Girls. You do not use every word you hear on that stage is exactly the way that she has written it. They don't care if you're like, this feels a little weird to say. It's like, that's the way it's written, because that's the way it's going to be funny, and that's the way she wants it said. And then combine that with the way Casey sets up the stage, adds in the numbers, puts in little bits. It was really, chef's kiss.
Oh man, yeah, it's so much fun. Well, I mean, fingers crossed, that we get back to the show's opening and we get to see some of the gloriousness of Mean Girls. It was so great. Now, here we are in this month of celebrating women, and someone said to me, they said, "Oh, Mean Girls, you got actors from Mean Girls. That show. Why are we celebrating Mean Girls?" I said, that's actually not what it's about. I mean, don't you agree that it's more of a commentary on human behavior? And what do you think the underlying message it is in Mean Girls about women?
Yeah, well, I think it's in Mean Girls, and we did end up having a workshop with the original writer of Queen Bees and Wannabes, which was really incredible, and just learning that it's about being true to yourself and staying true to yourself, and also treating each other with respect and dignity. And they really didn't want the show to end when we were working on the ending that we changed so many times. They didn't want it to just be like, and we're all buddies.
Right.
They're like, that's so unrealistic. And it wanted to be like, we cannot be friends. Like, you don't see Janice and Regina chilling next to each other. No. They're on opposite sides of the stage. They do not chill together at any point during the show. They're not friends. They're never going to be friends.
Right.
But that's okay. But we still need to treat each other with dignity and respect.
Absolutely.
And I think it was, and I might get this wrong, but I believe it is, dignity is deserved and respect is earned. Or you have to earn a certain part of it, but also everyone should be treated with dignity.
Absolutely.
And lead it that way. And just, I think with Katie is you see all these strong characters around her, and she's kind of like, I'm a little like this, I'm a little like this. And then finally at the end, she's like, no, actually, this is who I am, and I should just be myself. And that's, I think, the learning thing, because even though the plastics are like evil and mean and rude, the friendship they have with each other is also a very special thing. Because when you think about it, and we talk about it a lot, like these girls were probably friends with each other since middle school, and they hang and those formative years and all that goes into it. And what I love about Mean Girls and also celebrating Women's History Month is like we have a female book writer, a female lyricist, pretty much our entire stage management team is female. We have female music directors on Broadway and on the tour. It's just a really female heavy and powered show. And plus, we have 6 female principals and 4 principal men. It's giving jobs to women. It's giving there's so many scenes in Mean Girls that are 2 women talking that are not about men, and there is the love story, but there's so much more. And I think we get into the different facets of being a girl, which I think is really great.
Absolutely. I actually thought that and I'm a fan of the movie, but I really thought that the Broadway show sort of like dug deeper and into the story, that we got all the comedy, but then we got a little substance.
Oh, for sure. Especially with like Gretchen's character and the song "What's Wrong with Me." When characters sing, you're automatically going to see more of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love it. Well, Andrea Boyer, who does our Broadway Bite segments, she's very beautiful. She's a California girl. She might look like a mean girl, but she's actually very sweet. And she's made the sweetest version of the Caltine brownie.
I love it.
It would even heal Regina George.
Yes, it has been difficult, especially for me. It's been very intense. There were a couple of hours when I wasn't even sure if Regina was going to make it. She's lost so much weight on the IV. So to get her healthy again, the doctor gave us these. Caltine bars. Oh, somebody's crabby.
Have you ever seen that scene, JONALYN?
I don't think so.
It's a deleted scene.
So what is this?
I found that scene. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's classic. It didn't make it, right?
Welcome, Andrea.
Oh, hello. Well, I hear that JONALYN's going to show us some moves to get us back into shape, right? And boy, do I need that, because after making these brownies, even though they're not, you know, the exact brownie that we're portraying here, the Kelteens, I just want to know what it's like to get back into swing of things and shape and get back into that Broadway fitness.
Yeah.
Well, before we like Jonalyn shows us some moves, let's see the actual brownie that you came up with a special nutritious ingredient. I love it. Black beans, y'all. Here it is. Oh man, that looks so good using black beans. That's like brilliant. Get a little protein while you're getting your dessert on.
They're delicious. And as you can see, that's why I was like, oh, let's get this work on, because it took me like 3 or 4 tries. I'm not joking. I wanted to present something that was truly delicious. And I have to tell you, these are outstanding, not just to like, you know, say hi to them myself, but really they're worthy of just bringing a party and not letting anybody know there's beans.
Oh man, I love it. Well, at some point, somebody's going to find out there's beans. I'm not going to say when.
The silence will be broken.
The silence will be broken. Well, it said like in your recipe, you know, while they're cooking for 32 to 35 minutes to work out. We don't have 32, 35 minutes, but we have a couple of minutes. And I was wondering if Jonalyn could maybe, you know, what are a couple of easy exercises that we can do to get our bodies moving?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're...
And make sure you go slow for us, Jonalyn, because I mean, I'm ready. I'm fit. Andrea might not be able to keep up because, you know, she's not fit as a fiddle like me, but because I'll probably have to. And actually, I'm just going to sit here and watch you and Andrea because she has been eating the brownies.
Oh, no, but you said it was time, and there's no time like the present, right? It's time now.
What? Really? Wait. So you want me to do it too with Jonalyn?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, right? Yeah, everybody, come on. Let's say in the comments, right? Let's say we want Lance to join in.
Sure. Okay. All right. I'll take a little peer pressure from y'all to join. And y'all can join out there too, and we'll all get a sweat on with
That's
Jonalyn.
Right. Feel free, like you're dancing and like no one's watching, right? Like in your lip, just cut that rug up, right?
That's what Jonalyn says when she teaches online to her students. What's that? Is it Cynthia?
Cynthia Link Fitness.
Oh yeah, Cynthia Link Fitness. When you teach over there, that's what you say. You know, dance like no one's watching. Well, anyway, if we're gonna start exercising, I'm gonna need to put on some pants. No, y'all. I do have my pants on. I will need my headband because there will be sweat.
I better start.
All right. See,
Ooh, see, are we standing up?
Jonathan and I, we did a musical where the young people taught the old people how to dance hip hop because we were trying to be in this over 60-year-old cheer squad. And I wore a headband then. So I'm bringing the headband back.
I love that look.
P.S. y'all, I was
Ignore
a
the
ringer.
pile of clean laundry on my bed right now. Thank you.
I just want to say, and Jonathan, you remember this? Everyone was supposed to be over 60, but I was a ringer. I wasn't over 60.
Oh, then?
Whatever. Because of the pandemic, we're not counting these years.
Yeah, please, please. So,
wait. Oh, Jonalyn, before you start again, I actually have a workout video compilation that you sent, so people will see what they really can lead up to if they ever take one of your classes, and then we'll come up with a version for us. Here's Jonalyn's workout video, full out.
Let's try the cha-cha a little faster. Here we go. Cha-cha, squat. Cha-cha, squat. Again. Cha-cha, squat. Cha-cha. Good. Up and knee. 1, 2, down, 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 down. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. Bend your knees. Good. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. Up, 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 up. And squat. Here we go. Down, 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 down. To the cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Other arm. Here we go. Out. Out. Nice. Again. Right. Arm. Arm. Right. Arm. Arm. Open. Bend your knees. Cross. Again. Arm. 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 Open. Bend your knees. Cross. Bend your knees. Last.
Woo!
Ow! Oh, I'll get my move on. Now, I could totally do all that down, down, up, but, it's the camera angle. So what do you have in like a stationary camera group?
right. So what we love about Cynthia Link Fitness is that you really don't need any equipment for it. But one of the things we do use that you saw me using in it is a towel, is a dish towel or a rope, or you can use a t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Or anything to pull apart on to have a little bit of resistance.
Wait, is this good? Like this towel here?
Yeah, that works great. As long as it's as long as your arm. You can also do this without. Sometimes when people first start these arm exercises, I encourage them to do it without because it can definitely start to burn. So if we're just going to do a couple minutes, I will do the harder arm exercise, which is our triceps. So you're going to take this tool and you're going to put it behind your back here. So that, if you can see, you're pulling apart, your shoulders are down, and you're here so that it's a little bit on the diagonal. And you really want to push your shoulders down and make sure we're not sticking our chest out. Okay. And then with these straight arms, I want you to reach long and low with your fingers. You're just going to pulse it back while pulling apart your tool.
Oh.
So if you pull it back, just pulling apart, keeping that. So we don't want it to be loose. We want to keep it tight. Good. And then we can do a little bend and pulse and bend your elbow and pulse. I already am starting to feel it.
Oh, I know.
And pulse and bend and pulse. Yes, Andrea. So we do all of our exercises to music, and you can pulse and pulse and pulse and pulse. And we do all of our arms. So you don't need to buy weights. You don't need to have soup cans near you. And you just keep going nice and long and lean. And part of these exercises also that dancers love is that it builds long and lean muscles instead of like
now, how many
big
reps
muscles.
do I do of this? How many?
We do this. You can do this like turn on a song you like and do it for the whole song.
Oh, like
usually it suggests like 3 minutes and 15 seconds for triceps.
Okay.
3 minutes and 15 seconds. What's that song? The Velociter, the Raptor. What's that song in Mean Girls?
Oh, Apex Predator.
Oh, Apex Predator.
Yeah, you can do it to that. All that kind of stuff, and just groove out. So like if you're in your kitchen waiting for your brownies to be done, pick up your dish towel and start pulsing back. Yeah, we also pull the tool in front of us, and you can move it out and in for your chest, and you really pull apart and keep those elbows up in line. So you're like on top of a table, keeping those shoulders down, pulling it apart.
Woo!
Yeah.
Like a song that's not extended version.
Right? Good. And you saw me in the video. You can hold and do one arm at a time if you want, and resist with the other, and keeping those elbows up. I know it's hard with our view.
Yeah, I'm trying to like see what it is. Oh, I get it.
Hold that arm out. Yeah, and my parents actually do these workouts with me every week now. My mom started just doing half of the arms, and then she would walk away and go, I'm hurting, I'm too bad. And now she makes it through the whole song.
Wow.
Which is really exciting. And something that we also do with Cynthia Link is what you saw is we have, if you are part of the challenge or her subscription series, we have lots of short videos. So we have 15-minute arms, 15-minute abs, 15-minute legs. We have a 30-minute express. Because in this pandemic, schedules are just all over the place. And sometimes you can't get a full hour class in, or you can't show up for the live, or work gets in the way. But just doing 15 minutes is so easy. You just throw on your clothes, 15 minutes, a little stretch at the end, and you're done. And what I was finding a lot, especially during the beginning of the pandemic, I'd be like, I really don't feel like working out today. I'm sad because I don't have a job.
Right.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to do the 15-minute leg video. And I would do that, and I'd be like, I don't feel too bad.
I'll
just do 15 minutes of abs. And, I would build on that. And then all of a sudden I've worked out for half an hour, and I've built up a sweat, and it's just in really small chunks. And then we also do live classes, which is really exciting because then you see your friends in the class in the other Zoom windows, and we can see you, and it feels like a big community.
Oh, I love that. Now I have a specific question because, for guys, it's our midsection. It's like really easy for my arms. Like, I'm telling you, my arms are already pumped up. It may be the vaccination, but it's like just from doing that, but it's like the midsection, and I'm sitting at my laptop. Is there like an ab workout while I'm sitting down that I don't even realize I'm doing, or?
Yeah, sitting up straight with good posture is always good to engage your abs. There's also lots of good sitting down, or if you're sitting down and you march your knees up, as long as it doesn't get into your hip flexors.
Oh, okay.
Or just get up. We do a standing abs series in Cynthia's class, where if you bend your knees and you hold your hands and you just crunch over and reach towards the front of your body, like if you were laying on the ground, but you are doing an oblique, and over and stand up.
Okay, that makes sense. I could feel it.
Yeah. So those are a nice standing, because so often with abs we're on the ground, but this is also the standing abs, and you can cross your opposite elbow to your knee and cross to get a little bit of those deeper obliques, and you really want to round your back. So not like in squats where your back is straight, you really want to round it and use those abs. And it's also, because we're standing up and we're moving, you get a little bit more heat building up, and you get your heart rate up a little bit.
Yeah, feeling it already.
That's good. So now what we forgot, we skipped it because, we're already warmed up, but we forgot to do a little warm up, which, like, what is the simplest warm up for people over, 30? Because,
I
I'm
always
over
say
30 plus tax.
Yeah, we always love to start with breathing. Just breathe up, move your arms, start moving your arms, right? I like to inhale as I go up and exhale as I go down. Inhale, exhale, and then just some shoulder rolls. You really want to just gently start moving your body.
Okay.
And shoulder rolls forward. We love this move in Cynthia's where you push across, like you're high-fiving someone on your opposite side.
Oh.
And you get a little bit of like a back rotation in there.
Mm-hmm.
Good, yeah. And then just breathe. It's the thing that I always like to say about warming up is you want to warm up. You want to get heat going in your body. It's actually something I teach a lot in classes, because as dancers, we're like, oh, I need to warm up. Let me drop into my splits. That's actually really bad for you. Right. If you need to be warmed up really quickly, do some jumping jacks, right? jump rope for 3 minutes, and your heart rate, and that gets blood pumping to your muscles, and that gets your muscles ready to move more.
Right.
Rather than like, oh, let me do a stretch by stretching out my calf. You can do that, but what you want to do before doing the exercise is get that heart rate up and get that blood pumping through your body so that you're warm, so that when you do the exercises, you have blood moving to those muscles and you're not going to tear or injure them.
Oh, well, I love that. Thank you. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't ask you about the warm up first because I got to change my camera now. Here, I'm back. Oh, I'm so sweaty. I'm ready for Casey Nicolau's choreography.
Yeah.
Come on now, I can do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. No, but that's really, really great. It feels good to move. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. Oh my God. I have one more question. What about stretching? Is that a big thing after? Some people say, oh, you don't need it. And some people are like, I have to. But what is your take on that?
Stretching is super important, but a lot of the times we think, especially in dance or theater, we think about stretching to get flexibility, or I need to stretch before I do those big kicks, when really we want to stretch to cool down. So we've just built up all this heat, and especially when we're working our muscles and we're building muscles, if you're a bodybuilder, don't stretch, because the stretch is going to lengthen your muscles out, and that's what you want to do. So for females especially, you do want to stretch. And even so, stretching also helps promote mobility. And so, if you're doing a bunch of jumping, like after you're done, stretch out your calves. My favorite calf stretch is to be on some stairs and just put your one foot on the stair and then let your heel hang down, and you can get that really nice length. So if you're like waiting somewhere, you can do that. Quad stretching, but it's really good as a release of the muscle. You want to, if you've just worked out and you're stretching, you want to release the muscle, not push it anywhere, not to the point of pain, but just to stretch out the muscles you've just worked. And if you're just stretching or you want to stretch for flexibility, that's when you need to do active stretches. So that's when you're still using the muscle. So if you're in a figure 4, press your hand into your working knee and also press back into your hand with your knee so that you're engaging the muscle while stretching it. And that can be something you can do as a dancer to get flexibility. But after a workout, you definitely want to stretch it out. You want to release all of that stuff in your muscles, because when we're working out and when we're sore, we're tearing our muscles and then rebuilding them stronger. Like we're physically tearing our muscles, we're tearing those cells. And so we want to stretch and lengthen them. And so otherwise you see those people who get stuck and they walk around and they can't really raise their arm. That's because they're not stretching.
And so one of our viewers, Anastasia, who is a musical theater star over in Europe, she conferred about the warming up, and she even said, she used to do 5 minutes of jumping rope before a vocal warm up, which I totally believe in. I would totally do that before each show. I knew the high notes were coming. I made sure I used to do like jumping jacks, but I would totally get a jumping rope for my next show.
Yes,
yeah, because
Cynthia's workout is based a lot with jump ropes. We actually start her live classes out with a minute jumping and then a minute plank. We do that for 3 rounds: a minute jump, a minute plank, a minute jump, a minute plank. And that engages your body. I always would plank before shows as part of my warm up, especially as Karen, because it's a full body workout. You get your chest, you get your arms, you get your abs, you get your diaphragm, and it just really gets your whole body engaged so that it can show up for your voice when you need it to.
Right. Well, I have to work on the planking because it's, for some strange reason, that whole midsection, it don't want to plank, it sank.
Oh my God, so funny. Well, thank you so much for those tips. I mean, really, that was so fetch.
Oh, thanks.
It was.
I'm going to go grab another one of my brownies.
Oh my God. Well, thanks for stopping by, Andrea.
That was so fun. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, and for those of you who are watching out there, you can look out for other fun dishes on our website. And if you'd like to support our little show, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/Broadway's Calling for as little as $5 a month. and you can help support us continue to create content here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook Live, and of course, we'll put stuff on our website for you to enjoy. So, and leave me a message on our website at Broadway'sCallingTV.com. Now, I just told y'all it's a lot of stuff to remember. Don't even think about it now, because we're going to wrap up with JONALYN, and we want to hear what she has to say before we leave. But what you want to do is just rewind this episode, and then you can find your workout, your stretch, and all of the things to come look for Patreon.com, the Broadway'sCallingTV.com. All of that, just rewind and find. That's all you got to do. And realize that the show is always on the YouTube. So just leave me a message. And I'll also tell you how our patrons at patreon.com can get a free pin and lapel. Look at that shiny, beautiful swag, y'all. Look at the glitter in that star. Fancy schmancy. Anyway, and if you're already a patron on patreon.com, I've sent out a bunch of the pin and pins. And if you, I know I had mentioned all of the people who have been supporting us since last year are also getting those swag items for free. Make sure I only have, like, this is the last week that you leave me a private message on the patreon.com website and give me your address and I will get it to you. So anyway, JONALYN, I mean, that was like so much fun. It's even though, you know, we only did like a couple of minutes, like my body is like warm. I'm glowing. I mean, I haven't like moved at all. You know, I'm setting up the lights and things like here to do the show, but really like take care of the body. And I can already feel like my back feels better just because I moved and I was breathing and I was moving my arms. And it's so important, everybody out there. It's like, you know, like they say, it's really true. You know, it's like move it or lose it.
Well, I always like to say in some of my classes, you know, our body sits here as our brain does a bunch of work, and like our fingers and our brain are here and they're doing stuff. And so just for like an hour or 15 minutes of your day, if you can do something that benefits your body long term. And we're really it's not about looking a certain way or going for a certain look. It's about building strength in your body to be there for you, to prevent injury. We have a lot of our challengers who have been doing Cynthia Link Fitness, and then they can run but more, or they like, if you like skiing or snowboarding, and then you're not as sore after doing it, or you can ski or snowboard for longer. We do this stuff so that our bodies are there for us to do the stuff that we love, which really helps with living life. And again, it's not about look. It's not about getting skinny or any of that kind of stuff. It's just doing something for the physical body that holds your brain for you.
And I feel like there's a sense of like, and again, we only did 2-3 minutes. There's a sense of just like fog is like lifted out of the brain just by moving a little.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so great. So a couple of questions before we wrap it up. One is that, are you planning to go back to the tour when it's safe to perform again? Is that,
yes, we don't know. It still seems like it's a little bit a ways away. And so life is ever changing.
All right.
Right now, I believe my answer is yes.
Okay.
You know, if anything, I'm going to need some health care. So.
Right, exactly. Well, the good news. Go ahead. Also,
well, Mean Girls is just such a great company, and I love the show with my whole heart.
It's and what you said about, you know, your creative staff, I can see, you know, such a great family over there, you know, headed by Tina Fey and Jeff and Nell and Casey. But you were part of another family, a little excitement. And I don't know if people realize that you're a part of the West Side Story remake with Steven Spielberg directing, and that's very exciting. It's Ariana DeBose, and but I think she's using Ariana DeBosiana, I think, or DeBosius for this film. Her full Latina name. I think she's using that. And I had a question. There's a picture here, and I think you're in it. I think it might be Dance at the Gym.
Yes.
Is that you on the left-hand side at the top, like second person in?
Yes, the second person in.
Yes, I did. I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, I think that's JONALYN. And if anyone's looking, it's on the left-hand side, not the guy, the blonde, right next to the guy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's really fabulous. They actually ended up using my own hair for the movie, and I had these they permed my bangs, and I had this fabulous curly bang and ponytail, and I looked just like that 1950s Barbie you always see with those black glasses, how she has those crazy curly bangs. Yeah, so you can see those bangs a little bit in the picture.
Oh my goodness. Well, it looks fantastic. They haven't released too many images from West Side Story, and so I was so excited to even find those. And I'm very excited about it to see what it's going to look like. I was trying to find the pictures because there was some filming of West Side Story right next to my apartment building, and I'm high up and I can look down. It was the America number.
Yes.
Did it in an alleyway, and I have some great black and white pictures. Maybe I should put them on the website because they are pictures that no one else would have because I'm above the set. So I can look down. So it was so cool. It was. Really
I had some friends sending me videos who were living, I think, in Washington Heights, of them doing the dance down their street and little scenes. And they're like, "Is this West Side Story?" And it was actually really cool because they would send it to me. Some friends from school, they send it to me, and I was able to send it to Ariana and some of the sharks who were in those videos and be like, "Look at you guys," because we haven't seen anything either,
And it was crazy because there was 1 week where on 175th Street, In the Heights was shooting, and then on 177th Street, West Side Story was shooting. And I could see both of them happening. It was like, it was so exciting. It was so great. Well, West Side Story was supposed to come out on my birthday last year on December 18th. And of course it didn't. So
you share a birthday with Steven Spielberg.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yes. Yes, exactly. It's so cool. So because that was our birthday and it was ruined because COVID, whenever the movie comes out, that's when I'm celebrating last year's birthday. Whenever the movie comes out. So everybody's invited. We'll watch West Side Story wherever we can. And
it should be coming out this December.
Yes. I really cannot wait. I think it's going to be so exciting, and I can't wait to see you in it. And also, I want to catch you in Mean Girls on tour, and I hope that's really soon. I hope it's like the fall, and they say, oh, "Okay, we can do it," and it'll be safe and it'll be fun, and we'll have a great time and get back into these theaters. Really, thank you so much, JONALYN, for stopping by. Do you want to say anything to your fans, these Mean Girl fans who are out there, and West Side Story fans?
Yeah, thanks for the support. It's very exciting. Lots of exciting things coming up, and we're all doing what we can to make it day by day here. And for me, that's working out. And if you want to join me, let me know. CynthiaLinkFitness.com. I teach a dance cardio class, and every dance cardio class we do our planks to a Broadway song, to a different Broadway song every week. So we get that little bit of musical theater geek in there, and it's lots of fun.
Well, it's fun being a musical theater geek with you. One of my favorite musical theater geek, and we're both theater kids. And thanks to all of you who have tuned in, and our Patreons who have supported us. It's really, 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 it's helpful to us. It's great. And be sure to watch this video to steal the workout. And then you can also see all of the things that you're supposed to look for, the hashtags and the links and the .coms and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we would love for you to also share the videos as much as you can, because we want to create a huge community. And that would be totally fetch. So stay safe, stay sane, keep a little Broadway in your life. I'm Lance Roberts with my guest, JONALYN SAXER. Thanks again. And to everybody out there, peace. Check out this video coming up.
Are you out of your mind?
Gotta dance is a metaphor for everything in life. Whatever it is you've got to do in your life, there's only one way to do it, and that is to do it. You have to get up, you have to get out of bed, and you gotta dance. It's about celebrating life. It's about celebrating joy. It's about being exuberant. It's about being full of life. It's about getting up and joining in as opposed to sitting on the side.
We saw you getting your groove on at the club. She's the white Paula Abdul.
Gotta dance is about saying I can, and that's inspiring.
Was it just me, or did that bouncer undress me with his eyes?
It was just you.
Even people I don't really like, I make an effort to find something to like about them. Sometimes it's just their shoes.
Age doesn't matter. Like I always say, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind it, don't matter.
Hi, everybody.